Hey, everybody. Let's see here. Well, we're going to have fun today. This is the Senior Spring Roundup. Can y'all hear my music? All righty. So we're here. We are cowgirls today, and we are going to help you round it up. Mona, where's your boots? I know you got your boots on. All righty. So we're just going to introduce ourselves quickly, and then we will go through the review and help you finish out this year. It's going to be awesome. So, Mona, we're going to let you start.
Right. Well, welcome to parents of graduating seniors. This has been a good year. So far, so good. Here at HomeLife Academy, if you have a graduating senior at this point in the school year, you should have received by email a graduation review for your senior. It is also always available for you to view in Apple Core. Hopefully you're very familiar with where we keep all the course titles and credit values, final grades, all of that. You should be able to see in your account when you go in Apple Core, the 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th grade, any additional counselor comments. You can click on the graduation review button, and you don't have to search through your email and find that transcript review. You can just click on the graduation review button and then click on counselor comments, and you can see your student is right on track for graduation. Or if there's a little confusion in there or something that needs to be adjusted, in Apple Core right there, handy for you as you're kind of reviewing last minute all the things that's going to appear on your student's transcript. The top line in Apple Core for your student is either going to say action needed, and that won't be on the transcript, of course, but just action needed, and it'll say what needs to happen. And if you're confused about that, or if you haven't resolved that, or if you think you have made those corrections and you just want to let us know, you can just send an email to mona@homelifeacademy.com or enter a counselor request in your request manager, and we are happy to make sure one last time, everything looks good, everything's right on track, no worries. And then so big picture, that should give you peace of mind, right? Going into this last final semester for most of you. Final semester of senior year. It's still fine to graduate over the summer, but for the bulk of everyone graduating during the 23-24 school year, you're going to be requesting a transcript and a diploma, potentially a transcript to be sent to colleges, a diploma to show that your student is graduated. You'll be wanting to do that in April or May. Typically is the usual. June, is the time. So, and Lacey will speak more about that, I'm sure, when she has a quick turn. But I just wanted to welcome you, just so appreciative of all the hard work that has gone on behind the scenes in your homes and with your student who is trying to finish well. We are proud of you, and we are available to you if you do want to touch base one more time or send an email just for some reassurance, or just get that for yourself if it's midnight and you have a panic moment. Absolutely, we are trying to communicate as well as we know how creatively to try to incorporate new ways to have that information available to you so that you don't have to wait for a phone call or an email. You can see for yourself right there in Apple Core that your student is on track for graduation. So if you have follow-up questions, we are going to be fielding questions through this format today in the Q&A spot on this webinar, or I think if you're on Facebook, you can post those questions right there in the Facebook. So we're all good. I think I'm feeling good about this graduating class.
And
Yay!
if Mona's feeling good, we're all feeling good.
Yay! Proud of you all. So proud. So proud.
All righty, great. And you know what? Great job, Mona. Great job with all those transcript reviews that y'all have done. Okay, so Lacey next, and I've got some music for you.
This is fun. This is our roundup for senior year. I want to tell you guys, I am a mama of a senior myself. I'm going to be graduating my very first senior this year. We've homeschooled since he's been little bitty. And so I am in this with you guys. So I received my own transcript review from Mona. I got that assurance that we were on track to graduate. And so while I'm normally at home wrangling squirrels, that's what it feels like most of the time, or herding cats, I can help you with the end process of requesting your diploma and what that looks like with HLA. So the big thing to remember is that we do not automatically graduate your senior. You will have to go into your account in Apple Core and you will create a request. It's going to be underneath your family name once you log into your HomeLife account. From there, you can choose a couple different options, your diploma packages. We have a beautiful cover. It's a HomeLife bound cover that's perfect for those photo opportunities. Or you can request, if you're like my son, he's like, I don't care if I have a cover or not. You can request one with the cover. And there is a fee for the one with the cover. You'll also receive a sealed transcript and an unsealed transcript in that diploma package. And if you need additional transcripts, you can put that in that request button if you have additional needs for that. The transcript is going to represent all the hard work that they've done over the past 4 years of high school. Important things to know is when you're in Apple Core, the bold course titles is what's going to show on your transcript. Your resources, your curriculum that you've used, that you put underneath there, that will not show on your transcript. That's just more for our use and your use for record keeping. You will have your GPA will be printed on your transcript. You can request that you include weighted GPA. If you've had honors courses or dual enrollment courses that would weight your GPA, you can select that option in that request box and specify that. It is not automatically included unless you specify that you would like to include the weighted GPA part. Let's see. Other things that I'm going to have to remember as a mom of a senior that might be important for you guys to remember, graduation dates. So if you're planning a ceremony or just a get together with friends and you want a certain date on your diploma, you can request that specific date in that request button. So just type in there how you want the name to be listed on the diploma. So if you want to include full name, graduation date is up to you. Once the courses are completed, you can put the graduation date in there. Timeline wise, it is peak season for diplomas to be going out, and we're depending on the mailing services, too, as well. So I would comfortably say 2 weeks, maybe even 3 weeks ahead of when you would absolutely need your diploma is when you need to probably be putting those requests in. Couple more things that I might want to mention. When you're putting in your spring grades for your reporting, then you will make sure that you also include a credit, or half a credit for that semester if it was done fall and spring. So put your grades in, put your credits in there. Things like that are important because that's what's going to show up on that final transcript. Attendance is also one last step that we'll have to put in there before we request our diploma. Your attendance for your senior might be a little lighter in the spring, and that's fine. We know that a lot of the students are eager to graduate, and so they're working at a steady pace to get that done. Ladies, anything else that I forgot that would be very important to remember on that?
If you've forgotten anything, Lacey, I'm sure that we'll have a question about it.
That's right. Most of all, too, I just want to say from a mom, to a mom, I just want to say, enjoy the spring semester. Sometimes I tend to, uh, every time my son walks into the room, I tend to want to talk to him about something about graduation or school, and he had to remind me, like, Mom, okay, I got it, like, kind of chill with that a little bit. And so it doesn't always have to be task oriented conversations and stuff like that. And just enjoy this time and relax a little bit as we're wrapping up the school year. And let's not make every conversation about something to do with graduation for our seniors.
Absolutely. The only thing I'm going to throw out there again, just for reassurance and backup purposes,
Yes.
if you forget everything you're supposed to do, if you forget how to create a request in your Apple Core request manager, no worries. Just go on to the HomeLifeAcademy.com website. You don't even have to log in. Just in the search bar, type in the word graduation. It's going to pull up all the steps, step by step. So you don't even have to think about it. It's right there for you. If at midnight, you have a panic moment, there it is on the HomeLifeAcademy.com website. Step-by-step graduation, how to request your diploma, how much time to leave, how to choose a graduation date. All those things are right there for you as a refresher, a reminder. You don't have to keep all that in your mind.
So Mona will be reminding me that when I'm getting ready to do my own senior. I did think of one other thing. If your student is taking dual enrollment courses in the spring semester or in the fall, and we haven't verified those courses yet, can you please send the dual enrollment transcript once you receive that from your college? It can be an unofficial transcript to records. And again, this is information that we're throwing out there, but please just call us if you are forgetting these details. But we will need that before we're able to include that on the final transcript.
Thank you. Thank you, Lacey. We did have a question in regards to that. You actually just answered the question I was going to bring up, so that's great. And we did also have another great question to be addressed in terms of the diploma request was, with the attendance being less in the spring, is there a problem with the number of school days being less than 180?
I'm going to bounce that one to Mona.
So in general, no worries. So if in the big picture of, sometimes for a student that is doing, for example, a 3-year plan, trying to graduate in 3 years, it needs to be 3 solid years. So you don't want to cut short the attendance in that situation. But for the most part, graduating seniors don't have to have the full 180 days as long as the coursework is complete and it seems reasonable to have been able to complete that amount of coursework in a school year. It's going to be fine to put in whatever reality for your student to have been doing the attendance, because we certainly know that dual enrollment classes, college classes, you're not necessarily going to be spending as many hours or whatever. And so as long as the coursework is complete or the class is finished, it's all good, right? Even if it hasn't been 190 days for the full spring semester, 90 days for the full fall semester, it's okay, as long as it seems to match up with what's reasonable, right?
That's right.
Let me unmute myself. Okay, Rebecca. Now you are going to add some things, some little touch-ups, some little specialty items, right? Some little house cleaning things that we might just want to polish up, right?
That's right. That's right. So I work a lot with our graduating seniors when it comes to college and scholarship applications, and all of the things related to those wonderful processes. So this is definitely a busy time of year for us. Scholarship applications are already being accepted and processed, and we've actually already passed a couple of deadlines for those. It seems to have come a lot quicker this year for me, but we are always here to help and assist. So if your student is completing a scholarship application and it asks for counselor information, high school counselor information, please list my information. You can list my email address. It's Rebecca, REBECCA, at HomeLifeAcademy.com. And if you have any requests for scholarship application support, such as a transcript or a recommendation form that needs to be completed or a recommendation letter that needs to be completed for a scholarship application, I'm always happy to assist with those as well. So it's a fun time of year. I have a junior in high school, so we are looking forward to going through these processes next year. So I am definitely gleaning all that I can from the experiences of going through it this year with our home life families. So as we're going towards the end of their final academic year in high school, it's such a bittersweet time. But it's definitely not a time to stop updating what your student is doing. So as they go through their spring semester, it has a bit of a different feel, right, to it, but I'm sure your student is still continuing to participate in all those extracurricular activities they've been involved in, all of the community service opportunities and leadership opportunities they've been working in. So if you've already developed a portfolio for your student, that has been utilized possibly in the fall during the college application process, I would really encourage you to keep updating that through the spring semester, because as we're going into scholarship season, of course, portfolios can come into play when it comes to applying for scholarship applications and completing those scholarship applications, especially if they're specialty scholarships. So if it's a scholarship that's for students who really have a heavy focus on community service or leadership within their community. So you want to make sure you're keeping a real close track of what your student is doing, how they're doing it, how much they're doing it, and where they're doing it. So please don't let those portfolios fall by the wayside. And you can keep updating a portfolio for your student throughout their college years too, because if they want to continue on to graduate school or even to a doctoral program, they may need those portfolios to assist with those applications and scholarships for those as well. So don't let the scholarships, don't let the portfolios go by the wayside just because we've hopefully got accepted to the colleges that we wanted. We can continue those processes now. If your student has utilized Common App and they are wanting to submit a mid-year report, or if their schools are requesting a mid-year report or a final report, we can certainly take care of that as well. Those requests can come to me, Rebecca, at HomeLifeAcademy.com, and I will be happy to take care of submitting a mid-year and or a final transcript. A lot of times those just get sent directly to the schools after students go through the initial application process. They don't necessarily finish out everything on Common App, but if your student is still considering their options and they're still considering many colleges, Common App might just be the easiest way to submit that information. Again, it's a one and done kind of a platform, which is very helpful for us and for the students to manage. If your student needs class rank for a scholarship application, that is something that I'm happy to assist with as well. We do need to have an SAT or an ACT or a CLT score on file for us to be able to determine class rank. And if you have not had your scores sent to us, you can reach out to me and I can help you. I can provide assistance and instructions and how to have those scores sent to us so that we can provide class rank. But that's something that we're also happy to provide for your student. If your student has a really strong portfolio, especially for scholarship opportunities, and they would like to have that attached to their transcript that is submitted to these applications, we can certainly do that as well. When you go to your account and create a request for a transcript, in the notes in the little box, you can also just add, we would like to have the portfolio on file attached to the transcript. And that's something that we're absolutely happy to take care of and to provide for the students as well. And we have had a question or two about this come in through the Q&A chat. And so for Tennessee Scholars, the deadline for that is the end of February. And so there is still time to submit the application and the information for Tennessee Scholars. If you have additional questions about that, you could just reach out to any one of us. Our email addresses are all the same as our first name at homelifeacademy.com. So if you reach out to any one of us about Tennessee Scholars, we'll be happy to assist you with getting the information, the form that you need, so that you can submit that at the end of February. And so we did have a question come through about Hope, about the Tennessee Hope Scholarship. So the Tennessee Hope Scholarship is determined by your FAFSA. So you have to fill out the FAFSA. It's been a big old mess this year, and we fully understand that. Lacey has survived the process. And so if you completed the FAFSA, then when that information is sent to the school, then that will just be part of what they send you in terms of financial aid package. The Hope funds are administered by the colleges in Tennessee. So they will determine your eligibility and what you are able to receive from Tennessee Hope. So as long as you have completed your FAFSA, you are good to go for Tennessee Hope if your student qualifies for all the other parameters of the Hope Scholarship. And we did have a question about what are the advantages of being designated as a Tennessee Scholar. So Lonnie, would you like to speak to the advantages of that?
Yeah, sure. Okay, so if you are in Tennessee, and you qualify, and you're going to go to our website. You are not going to go to Tennessee Scholars website. Theirs tends to be down most of the time, and you don't go through their website anyway, because then we don't know, and we cannot, give you your little Tennessee Scholars medallion and put on your transcript that you are a Tennessee Scholar if you don't let us know. So you actually are going to go to our website, okay, under the, you can just kind of search for that under the scholarships, and so it's really not hard to qualify for Tennessee Scholars, but there are 4 forms. They're pretty easy. 4 forms you're going to fill out and email to Katie at HomeLifeAcademy.com. And, the advantages are, number 1, your student gets recognized for what they've done. They do get a nice medallion, on a ribbon, and they get recognized, and the colleges are going to see on their transcript that they are a Tennessee Scholar. So there are colleges in Tennessee that automatically give scholarships for that. Others who might not advertise that they give, $2,000 or whatever it is, when they see that Tennessee Scholars on there, sometimes they do pull scholarship money for your student. Also on other scholarship applications, you can put that you are a Tennessee Scholar. Anything like that, I just think it's a great way to recognize our students in Tennessee who have done the work. They've done the academics, and then this is just a way to recognize them. So even if you don't get the money scholarship, which you might, they do get that recognition, which is very nice.
I just went through that process myself with my son Evan. So yeah, it was a very seamless, easy application, and I sent it to Katie here at HomeLifeAcademy.com, and she assured me that it'd show up on his transcript. So worth the extra step to take that time to do that for your student.
And would one of you care to explain what are the parameters of being designated a Tennessee Scholar, please?
It is on our website. So there are the core courses that they have to do, biology with lab being one, but they're not real strenuous. So I would just recommend going and looking at the form, because they do have to check off all the boxes that they've done those. Basically, it's a college prep coursework, on our College 4 path. The things that we recommend, actually, if you do all those, you're probably going to fulfill all the requirements. It does it does have the academics, it does have some volunteer work, that you have to submit the volunteer sheet. So these volunteer hours, they are good across the board. So, if they've qualified for the Tennessee Scholars with their, I think it's 80 hours for all of high school. And if they qualify for that, they can use those for Tennessee Promise, if it's in their, timeline, like some of those are in their senior year, and for other scholarship opportunities. There's presidential scholars, there's some other things, and we do have all this on our website. As Mona mentioned, we've got a lot of things on our website. So, just at the very end, don't get stressed, but you might see that there are some opportunities that your student qualifies for.
I want to give another plug for the portfolio that Rebecca talked about. So sometimes it's hard senior year to think back in retro of all the volunteer times that they've served throughout 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. And so had I recorded some of those volunteer service hours through that portfolio earlier on, I wouldn't have had to go back senior year and kind of think backwards. And so one of our services at HLA is record keeping, so please utilize that. And it's helpful to do that, year by year, semester by semester, so that you're not like me at the end of the senior year trying to think back on all the ways that they've served. So
There is another great program called the President's Volunteer Service Awards, and that is for students who particularly for students who continually get involved in community service activities. And so that is a designation that you can also apply for your student through HomeLife Academy. It is one of the services that we provide, or support services that we provide. So if you're interested in that, you can also just reach out to me. I help with that as well. And that there are different levels. So if you're interested, if you think your student might qualify for that, if they've consistently volunteered over the course of, especially throughout their high school years, if you've kept track of that, please reach out to me, because that's a really nice little designation you can add on their resume, and it might get the attention of some folks who are familiar with that program. It's through I think it's through the Thousand Points of Light Foundation from the first President Bush, and so it is a great program that recognizes student leaders who are involved in their communities, and it's an easy process to go through the application process for it. So.
Right. And that one too, I'll just throw out, is not just for Tennessee families. That's for any state, any student in lots of states. And so just because we were spending a lot of extra time on the Tennessee Honors Medal, there may be a similar opportunity in, other states, depending on where you live. And but that one that Rebecca was referencing is certainly for anyone in any of the states.
Okay, great job. We are going to finish up here in just a few minutes, but I want you gals to put on your cowboy hats if you got them, because this is the spring roundup. So that's why we've had kind of a cowboy theme going on here. Oh, Mona hadn't got her hat, but you got your boots, and see Rebecca's got her cowboy shirt on, So we just thought we'd have a little bit of fun here with the spring roundup. It's one of my favorite songs, y'all. And, and you know what I was thinking? This will de-stress you.
can you guys tell we have fun around this place? HLA is a fun group of mamas and daddies and homeschool families.
Oh gosh. So, the last thing we're going to talk about is the actual graduation. So, I was thinking I was going to pull out my whip and help you whip these kids into shape, but you know what? You gals have done such a great job. I don't have to pull out my whip, I think what I'll do, let's just tip our hats to our mom and dads who have done such a great job. And like Mona, Lacey, Rebecca, like they've already said, this is a time to just kind of sit back, relax. You might want to check some things out that, oh, they could qualify for that and I've still got time, but this is not a time to be stressed, okay? And so let's just go through a couple of these options for the actual graduation. Now, I know some of you have support groups, maybe your church, your co-op, your tutorial. Maybe they've got a graduation, a big formal graduation. And if so, I'm sure that you have already done all the things, because usually they reach out to you in the fall. And so you've got the cap and gown, you've got the pictures, you got, but what if you miss the deadline? No stress, no worries, okay? What if your student does not want to be in a big formal graduation because they don't know the other homeschool kids, So that is definitely not the only way to go. In fact, most of our kids are not in a big formal graduation. Most of them do their own thing. And so this is a time to honor your student, to celebrate your senior in the way that they want to be celebrated. And if you haven't thought about this yet, there are so many options. I mean, I have been to the most wonderful home celebrations. They might do a movie, put music in the background. Your student, this is just kind of a time, if you haven't done it yet, to say, hey, what do you want to do to end up this year? Because it's all about the memories, y'all. It really is. It's just all about those end of the year memories. They might not think they're important, but they are. So your student might just want a family dinner, and you fix all their favorite foods and it's all about them. It's all about them, their music, their food, their desserts, their friends, their family. What if they just wanted mom and dad at a nice restaurant, their favorite restaurant, or maybe one they've never been to, they always wanted to go to, and it's so special, That is not a bad thing if they just want you, mom and dad there. Oh my gosh. I look back and think those are the special times. Those really, they build such memories, y'all. And so there's just all kinds of ways, but think about that. Don't let this moment pass with just, no kind of celebration. And it can be simple. It can be a big backyard barbecue. It can be really anything that your student wants, because this is important. This is a milestone. This is the end of one journey and the start of another. So it's
already got me crying, Lonnie.
I know, it is a
I'm
big
cheering up.
deal. I still get so emotional after graduating 4 of mine and 3 grandkids. I tell you, I get so nostalgic about this time that when I talk to moms, I start crying. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Oh goodness,
Still,
I'm all up in the feels right now.
It is important, y'all. And you know what? If your student wants to do some kind of party and they want to send out invitations, the best ones I've seen actually are the ones that the students do themselves on the cards, and usually those pictures are taken with a cell phone. If you don't have a cap and gown, because you're not in a big ceremony, no worries. You can go to our website. Just put in graduation at the top, and then you're going to click on the graduation ceremonies and supplies. So we have a grad store on there, and it has already, like, the caps and gowns, $50, y'all. You can use these for all your students. I did. They're kind of a one size fits all. And you just order a tassel for each year, and then they've got their memory tassel. So they can take the cap and gown pictures, not that they have to, but some students want to, and they are awesome. And and then they might want the formal pictures, And then the casual, of course, and they might want to go the cowboy theme, you know. I know my daughter did because she had her horse, you know, so the cowboy theme is great. And then they put together the little collage. The kids do all this stuff. They send out the invitations, and they're really, really sweet, you know. And they're not just the one size fits all. So we've done both, and I really like the real special individual ones, and you spend a lot less money on those. So we do have the store. We have the Blue Eagle store, and it's got our senior t-shirts. So if you don't have those yet, you can go and order your senior t-shirt. We've got all the swag, you know. Some kids like to go all out. Some want the class rings. We've got them. You know, some want all the gear for 24 that's on the store, you know, and it's not expensive stuff. I tell you what, if your kid wants all this, you know, then they need that, you know. So I'm all for, let's just celebrate them, whatever they want. This is their year, 2024, this is their year. You will see at the top of the tabs of the store, like yearbook. You might be thinking, oh, I want to get a yearbook. Well, you should know by now that we don't have, you know, a physical yearbook, but we do our digital yearbook. Now, again, we started putting this out last August. Get your entries in, get your entries in. But what if here it is at the end of the year and you've been so busy that now you're going, oh my goodness, I haven't done that. No worries. Okay, that's why we're doing the webinar now. The deadline is March 1st. So go to our Facebook pages. If you are not on our HomeLife Academy Class of 24 Facebook page, get on there. It has all the info on there. Or just look in your newsletters. So you can look in the newsletters, and we've got all the information in there. But get those things in. You know, your student isn't going to want to see that digital yearbook, and they're not in there because they're not going to be in there if you had not submitted something. But you can have a shout out page. You can have all their awards and what college they're going to, if they're going to college, if they're going on a mission trip or have a career or whatever. You know, you can have all that in our digital yearbook. And again, that's special. Those are memories, you know. So we've got that. Oh, here's an important thing. What if your student is graduating and they go, but Mom, I have no idea what I want to do? And that is a reality. A lot of kids fit into that. And you might be feeling like, oh my gosh, what is wrong with my child? Or what is wrong with me? I didn't instill this. Oh my goodness. This is a time when I'm bad about this, y'all. You know, you just start thinking, I wish I had more time. You know, you as a mom, you start second guessing yourself. You start thinking, oh, if I just had more time. Now, again, no worries. We are here to totally de-stress you. If you need more time, then, you know, you might want to think about a 5th year, which is great. And lots of our students do that. And they can mature, they can get a job, they can go on mission trips, they can do dual enrollment, they can do all these things that maybe you just felt like you didn't have time to do. And you
I like to
want
call
that
it a
time.
super senior year.
It is. It's the super senior year. And, you know, more and more of our kids are doing this. Colleges love it. We've never seen a single drawback. And we've never heard a single senior family come back and say, I wished I hadn't done that. They're all very glad they did that. So you know, and your student knows if they are not quite ready to graduate. And that's okay, you know. But if they are ready and they just don't know what they want to do, that's okay too. You know, let them graduate. And the thing is, they have graduated, but lots of the kids are not going off somewhere. Some are. And these are the kids that know what college they want to go to, and they are prepared. But if they're not, it's not like you are never going to be able to teach your kid anything else the rest of their lives. It goes on, right, John? It goes on. The learning, the relationship, it just grows sweeter. And so I know that it is the end of an era, it's the end of that journey. But I know there's so many moms like me who always thought, if I just had more time, I probably didn't teach them everything they needed to know. They probably have gaps in their learning. Oh my goodness, but that's okay. If you've given them the foundation, and you've got that family relationship, they are going to be successful, y'all. And let them figure it out. Let them get that job at McDonald's, let them start. And the last thing I want to say, this final piece of advice from me is that, if the tears start flowing, let them flow. That's fine. It's going to have to happen either now or when you see them off to college or whenever, or like me, when you suddenly realize because the house is all empty. And I realized, I'm going to start crying. I realized that my daughter had left, but it was no different. I mean, her senior year, she wasn't here most of the time anyway. She was doing her dual enrollment, she was working, she was doing all the things. So, she was gone a lot, but it was that realization that she was gone, that she had moved out. And oh my goodness, it hit me like a ton of bricks. And it will hit you. And that's fine, but don't stress about anything. Just relax, enjoy this time. And the reality is that God opens the doors that need to be opened. We don't have to be in there with our cowboy boots like Mona has on, kicking those doors in. That is not the cowboy way, y'all. We don't want to be doing that. We just kind of sit back now. We've done all the things, right? We have celebrated our senior. We've spent that quality time, and that's going to go on. But if they don't want to know or the future's uncertain, that's okay. The future's always uncertain. And we just let those doors open. We let God open them in his time. And it's going to be the best time. I remember a K-Love musician, I mean, not a K-Love musician, but he was in a Christian band, and he was talking on K-Love, and he was talking about his job at McDonald's and how he felt like a failure because all his friends were going off to college, and here he was working at McDonald's. But he said, you know what? The door opened, and I walked through it. And I was so thankful I did, because that's where he met his best friends and they formed a band, whether it was Building 429 or one of those groups. That's where they met, is the job at McDonald's. And not only that, but that's where he met his wife. And so his whole life, and he said, what if I hadn't walked through that door? Because I thought, no, but it's just a step at a time. We don't know what we're going to do the rest of our lives, but let's just step through those doors one step at a time. And we're going to help you get there too. We'll totally de-stress you if you feel stressed, okay?
Absolutely. We do have a couple more questions that we received, and I think they're kind of timely, so I'd like for us to touch on those real quick before we conclude. The first one was about sources for scholarships, and that's something I should have mentioned earlier, and I did not, so I apologize for that. But my biggest piece of advice to families who are looking for scholarship sources is to start where you are and to look outward. So, what organizations, if your student is involved in any kind of like theatrical groups, community organizations, if they're involved in community service, if they're involved in like local youth leadership opportunities, look at those places first. Some co-ops even offer small scholarships to graduating seniors. So look at those and then kind of slowly start looking outward more and more, because a lot of organizations such as churches will have, they're part of larger networks of churches, right? So you have your local church, and then maybe there's like a regional organization or a state organization, and then maybe a national organization. So for anything that you and your family are involved in, that's kind of my base piece of advice when it comes to finding scholarships. Now, there's all kinds of websites. Of course, we live in the age of almost too much information. So you can use the Google or the DuckDuckGo or whatever search engine you like to look for scholarship opportunities. And there's all kinds of them. I would also encourage you, if you come from a very unique cultural perspective, then you should look into scholarships that might be for folks of your particular lineage. So my daughter is a quarter Italian, so she would qualify for Italian American scholarships. So that's just kind of a really small example, but any kind of activity you're involved in, something that you're really passionate about, if your student's really involved in history, look at historical organizations that might offer scholarship opportunities for students who want to pursue a degree in history or something like that. So it just kind of, sometimes it kind of takes beating the bushes a bit, racking your brain, kind of getting a little creative. There's tons of scholarship opportunities out there. And then, of course, if your student's looking to go to a particular college, make sure you pay really close attention to the deadlines for their institutional scholarships, because sometimes if you miss those, they're missed, and there's not a whole lot that can be done about that. So make sure you work with your student to keep track of all of the deadlines. I know they will want to say, I want to take care of this, but you need to kind of mom your way in there and say, let's work on this together. So that's just a very short blurb on scholarship sourcing and deadlines. Make sure you really pay attention to those. And we also had another question about a fifth year, which actually I was going to ask anyway, so I'm glad one of our participants asked this question. So the question is about a fifth year. What can be done during a fifth year in terms of dual enrollment? Now, there are many colleges in Tennessee that will allow fifth year high schoolers to take advantage of the dual enrollment grant if they haven't already utilized all of what's available. There are some exceptions to that, but most of the colleges don't have a problem with fifth year students taking advantage of dual enrollment grant, as long as, again, they have those funds available. If you're interested in doing a fifth year, please reach out to one of us and we will help you figure out the best way forward for your family and your student in terms of pursuing a fifth year. We can't really give blanket guidance as to how to do that, because every student situation is unique, and we want to make sure we handle those very carefully to best benefit your student in their particular situation, especially if they're wanting to go to college. We want to make sure that we do the best things possible to get them to that goal after they complete their fifth year. I love a fifth year. My daughter's already considering doing a fifth year because she's one of those, she's just not sure what she wants to do yet. And I loved Lonnie's advice. It's something I say to her all the time these days, is it's not forever. It's just what you're going to do next. What's the next step of life? That's what we're looking for. And then after that, you'll take another next step in life, and it'll be probably something that you maybe never even considered doing, but that's what we're looking for. And that's what I would encourage all of you all to look for as well. As this is not a life sentence for your student. It is just what they're going to do in the next stage of life as they're going out into adulthood.
Rebecca,
Now,
I love
Rebecca, let me just remind you of something, and all the moms, because we tell everyone in Tennessee to go ahead and register for the Tennessee Promise. Even if they think they're going to a four-year college, or they're not going to college in Tennessee, or they're not going to college at all, or whatever it is, just go ahead and register. So if you are registered with Tennessee Promise, and then you decide to do another year, super senior, you do need to let them know. Let your Tennessee Promise representative, whoever sends you all those emails, But just let them know to take your student off the list for this year. It's fine. They will take them off, because if they don't, you won't be able to go ahead and register for next year, because they will be showing that they are already, receiving it. So just remember, take them off the list, and then you will go ahead and re-register starting in August with that November 1st deadline all over again. And it's fine.
I think that's a good reminder, Lonnie, is a good communication, even with the colleges. Like if you've already sent in applications for colleges and, they've already worked up some financial aid packages. Well, this year is a little bit later, so you probably don't have those yet, but just to communicate that you might want to do a 5th year. Usually they're super receptive to that. Then they understand that well. So good communication. It's not a thing to be like hesitant or shameful about, I guess, if you decided on the 9th hour that it's something that you would like to do for your student.
Yeah, absolutely. Our top students are the super seniors usually, because they started young and they accomplished so much, but they're young, and the moms and the students don't feel quite ready to jump into college full time. So it's certainly not looked negatively at all. So our super seniors, they are super seniors, and they're super achievers usually as well. So that's awesome about your daughter, Rebecca. And if you think you want to do that, just let us know as well. So we're not bugging you about requesting the diploma and all the things, we will know, and we will put a little tag in there that they're going to be a super senior, a 5th year senior. So any other questions, Rebecca? Any other last minute?
That's all that we've received.
All right. You know what I was thinking with the whole senior roundup is, what song could we end with? And I really could not think of a better song than so, hey, put your cowboy hat on, Lacey. We want to see that pink hat again. Oh my word.
I've got some lights. I'm celebrating. You know what?
Oh.
Do we talk about the mamas of the seniors? Don't we get a cruise or something once we submit that diploma request? Don't you think that sounds good? We're going to celebrate.
Wait just a second. What are you? Okay, I missed that. My music's too loud here.
I said, we didn't talk about what the mamas get when we graduate our seniors. Don't we get like a cruise or a vacation or maybe a rodeo or something? We've wrangled squirrels for numerous years and herded cats. No,
really, that's a great idea. The moms need a cruise or something.
We do, right?
We have a mom who just posted that their family's going on a graduation cruise, but she says it's hers as much as a graduate. So.
Absolutely.
What a great idea. Oh my goodness.
I love it. I love it.
We did that with our 2 youngest, actually. We kind of combined our son's first year really away from home. I mean, far away. He was in Minot, North Dakota. So cold up there, and our daughter had just graduated that year. So we took off in January and did a cruise. So that was fun. That was very special. It's the only time we've ever done that, with the 2 kids. So it's very neat things.
Yeah, mamas, give yourself a pat on the back. In all honesty, this is a task that you've taken on, and I'm proud of you guys.
We are all very proud of you. And you know what? A final thing I'm thinking, not just me, all of us, we love to keep up with your kids and what they're doing. So we've got some moms who will send pictures every year or send Christmas cards, or we've got kids sometimes that will reach out with pictures of them at college or whatever it is. We love to keep up with your kids. Just because they've graduated, that doesn't mean it is the end of the trail. Or it's, goodbye, HLA. We love to keep up with them, and we celebrate with them. these momentous things, whether it's a scholarship at the college they wanted, or whether it's them getting married or going on a cruise or whatever it is. Keep us in the loop, y'all. We love it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree.
Okay, are we ready to sign off, Rebecca? What do you think?
I
Mona?
think so. I think so. We don't have any more questions. And, as always, if you have questions, you can always reach out to us directly. I've already received notification that a couple of emails have come through. So that's wonderful. Again, our email addresses are very simple. It's our first names, which you should be able to see there on the screen. It's just our first name at HomeLifeAcademy.com. You can reach out to any or all of us, and we'll always be happy to assist you as you round up your students' senior year.
All righty. Bye.